Student life is often experienced as a rich and stimulating period of life. Obtaining a university degree is an accomplishment that requires effort and determination. As graduation approaches, new challenges appear on the horizon, and one that always concerns students is how they might find a working environment enabling them to apply some of their newly acquired knowledge. Finding a job within the reality of a global market requires quite a bit of planning. Employers struggle to survive by maximizing human resources, relying increasingly on the help of technology to boost productivity. Fewer individuals are able to produce more with better results. Hiring authorities expect graduates to offer a clear and focused picture of what they want and what skills they have to offer. Facts are that up to 80% of job openings are not publicized, and that they are accessible only through the so-called hidden job market. One of the most efficient tools to assess the hidden job market is cold calling. Knowing how to call a potential employer is becoming a survival skill in a labor market where job security is gone, giving ground to a new reality, the high level of competition. There are no magic sentences or words that warrant success. One of the most important things to remember is that this is a business call, not a social call. To get good results with a business call, you must first of all prepare carefully. The importance of knowing all you can about the company you are going to target can never be overstated. Secondly, clearly identify the objective of the call. Your goal is to schedule a short meeting with a potential employer before sending your resume. If you end up talking about your many skills on the phone, chances are he or she will thank you and ask you to mail in your resume. The third thing to do when you are getting ready for a cold call is to set up a strategy. Your strategy should contain all the elements you will use to convince potential employers that it is in their own best interest to take the time to meet with you. Remember, the potential employer will want you to talk about yourself. Your objective will be to avoid it, but strategically. Again, a short meeting will be the most efficient way for the potential employer to get to know you. The last thing is to prepare your introduction to the secretaries. The best way to avoid embarrassing questions is to act as if you were a frequent caller. If the secretary senses it's your first call, you will undergo a long screening process, and that's the last thing you need. So, you have a potential employer, a precise objective, a prepared strategy, and finally, an efficient approach with the secretary. Let's get to the phone.
Hi. Could I speak to Mr. James Anderson, please?
Does Mr. Anderson know you?
Pardon?
Does Mr. Anderson know you?
Well, no, he doesn't know me. I'm actually calling about applying for a job. Well, can I speak to him? Is it possible to, talk to him? Hi, is it possible to talk to the person in charge of the research department?
Maybe I could help you? What exactly is the nature of your call?
Hi, my name is Peter Lewis, and I'd like to talk to the person in charge of the research department because I was informed that a position was open, and I'd like to apply for the job of a research assistant.
Could you please send your resume to the attention of the Human Resource Department and they'll get in touch with you?
Well, there's no other way that I can talk to the person in charge of the research department?
No, they're very busy.
Okay then. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Now you can see how hard it is to get past a good secretary. We first saw that the hesitation in your voice is translated for a secretary as a cold call in process. Then, not knowing the name of the person you want to talk to also reflects the image of a first caller. The last call we looked at showed that the secretary is the last one you want to inform that you wish to apply for a particular position. Her role is to ask for your resume before talking to anyone. Everything is in the way you say things.
AJ and Associates, good morning.
Good morning. For Mr. Anderson.
May I have your name, please?
Sure, Peter Lewis.
Please hold. What is the nature of your call?
Well, it's a personal call. Is Mr. Anderson in this morning?
One moment, please.
Congratulations, you have passed the secretary. And you have seen it's important to be confident and to act as if it's not your first call there. Very often, secretaries will ask you a question on the purpose of your call when they feel it might be a cold call. Again, look at the way you say things. If need be, never hesitate to say that it's a personal call, because it is. You are not trying to sell a copier, but yourself. So naturally, it becomes a personal call.
James Anderson speaking.
Hi, Mr. Anderson. My name is Peter Lewis, and I've just graduated from political science, and I'm looking for a job. And I heard that you're looking for a research assistant, so I'd like to apply for the job and meet with you if it's possible.
Well, Mr. Lewis, the way we do things around here, the best thing would be to send your resume and make it to my attention. And we'll look it over, and if there's anything possible, we'll call you back. Okay?
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
By mentioning without being asked that you've just graduated may imply that you might not have any pertinent experience. And if on top of that you ask for a meeting without giving any good reasons why he should accept, your call will stay cold, very cold. Having the worst content is not the only way to fail. The same thing can happen if you talk too much.
Good afternoon, Mr. Anderson. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to talk with me. I know you're a very busy man, and so again, I'd like to thank you. I appreciate the fact that you've accepted to take my call. The reason why I'm calling is because I heard that you're looking for a research assistant, and since you're the one responsible for the candidates' interviews, I thought that perhaps we could set up a time together and meet for an interview. How would that be for you? Do you have any available time? Or I know you're a very busy man.
Well, if you were Mr. Anderson, what would you say to yourself? That person talks a lot. Do I really want to have a meeting with him? This has to be a business call. This means asking a polite question in your introduction to Mr. Anderson.
How do you do?
We use this question for two particular reasons. To give the other person early in the conversation a chance to tell you that they are quite busy at this moment. Ask to call back later and wrap it up quickly. This is also going to give you a good idea of the individual's personality.
James Anderson speaking.
Good morning, Mr. Anderson. Peter Lewis speaking. How are you this morning?
Fine. What can I do for you?
Well, Mr. Anderson, I talked yesterday with Tom Perkins of your Toronto branch, and I learned that your company is now looking for a research assistant, isn't it?
Yes, we are.
Well, good. Knowing your industry, I guess the chosen candidate will be asked to work without counting hours to quickly become an efficient member of your staff. So, to show you in which way I can help your company achieve some of its many objectives, I'm offering you a 20-minute meeting so that you can look at my field of expertise. I can be at your office either before the end of the week or at the beginning of next week. Which moment would be best for you, sir?
Well, I think first you'd understand that we have procedure and that you should send your resume, make it to my attention, and we should start from there. Can you do that for me, Mr. Maurice?
Sure. Yes. Yes, sir. You'll receive my resume this week.
Okay. Nice talking to you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That wasn't much of a fight. Why don't you try this?
If I hang up and send you my resume, what are you going to remember from this conversation? You'll probably say to yourself, this young man seems interested in working for our company, but not really. But the fact is that I am very interested in being part of your team. Sir, you'll probably receive a lot of resumes. Expertise and knowledge are important, but with a highly competitive market, a devoted employee becomes a strategic asset for all companies looking to survive each day. I can guarantee you that this 20-minute meeting will not be a loss of time for you, but a profitable time. If after 5 minutes you feel that you're losing your time, ask me to leave and I will. So, do you have a preference for next Tuesday, or is Wednesday better for you, sir?
And if the potential employer still insists on seeing the resume before scheduling any meeting, you could still answer,
I understand it's important for you to look at my resume, sir, so can I make a suggestion? I'll come to your office later this week, I'll bring my resume with me, and I'll ask for you at the reception. And if you have 5 minutes, I'll personally give you my resume. And if not, I'll leave it at the front desk. Is that fine with you, sir?
well, our student stood by his objectives. Sending his resume without a fight makes him look like everyone else. To arrange a meeting with a potential employer is the only way Peter Lewis could show his personality and his desire to work hard. You have only one chance. Now that you are able to handle a situation where there is a known opportunity, what if there is no job to be taken? It doesn't necessarily mean that your expertise could not be used to carry out a specific mandate for this enterprise. And how could you seek out those short-period contracts? Again, by trying to schedule an exploratory meeting, you will search for opportunities to help out with specific problems the enterprise might be confronted with. The cold call is one of the most powerful tools you can use to increase your chances of becoming an active member of the workplace. The success of a cold call is directly proportional to the time you will take to prepare it. As we saw earlier, we need a precise objective, we need a strategy, and finally, an efficient approach with the secretary. You have all the tools to succeed.
Good morning, Mr. Anderson. Peter Lewis speaking. How do you do?
Fine. What is it, Mr. Lewis?
Well, I spoke yesterday to Tom Perkins of your Toronto branch, Mr. Anderson, and the reason I'm calling you today is that I'm quite interested in your company. As we all know, your industry is facing a lot of challenges, and there's an ever-increasing number of competitors out there. And I've developed an expertise for companies like yours that develop foreign markets, an expertise that can, for one, provide for you and your staff vital information to assess consumer trends in Asian countries. But to properly evaluate in which way I can help you, I suggest that we get together for a short exploratory meeting, let's say next week. Do you prefer the middle of the week, or is by the end of the week better for you, sir?
Mr. Lewis, what exactly do you have to offer me?
Well, basically, Mr. Anderson, it's this brief meeting that will tell me exactly how my expertise can help you and your team on specific matters. I could mention the fact that I'm able to deal with the internet network, or that I possess specific skills and so on and so forth, but on the phone, there are some aspects I can't properly evaluate, which might turn out to be important factors to you. I understand that you have some questions to ask, and that's exactly why an exploratory meeting is so efficient. Again, it will be a short but efficient meeting, sir. Do you have a preference for next Tuesday, or is Wednesday better in your schedule?
To be quite honest, I'm rather busy these days. Could you call me in a couple of months?
Well, I could do that, sir, but I can do something even better than that. Since you're very busy, I could meet with you early in the morning before work hours, or I could meet you perhaps at 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening at your convenience. Being an exploratory meeting, it will be short, and it won't take up much of your time, sir. Which day of the week next week is better for you?
Let's see. If you're able to do it really quickly, I could give you about 20 minutes next Thursday at 5. Is that all right?
Sure, that's fine, sir. I thank you. Thank you very much. I'll see you on Thursday then.
Okay.
Bye-bye.